Why the most dangerous addiction of our time looks like freedom. You're not forced to use social media. No one's holding a phone to your head. No law mandates your screen time. You open the app because you want to. You scroll because you choose to. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. The most effective form of control doesn't look like chains. It looks like freedom. We often associate addiction with substances or behaviors that clearly destroy lives: alcohol, cigarettes, gambling. But the most insidious addiction of the modern era is digital. It doesn't reek of smoke or cause physical withdrawal. It rewards you, entertains you, connects you, informs you. It feels empowering, but it's not. The real cost of this freedom is invisible. It's your time, your focus, your capacity for original thought. It's your ability to sit with discomfort without reaching for distraction. And that's not just affecting how you spend your day. It's changing how you think, what you believe, and who you become. You may feel like you're choosing freely, but when a billion-dollar algorithm knows your psychological weaknesses better than you do and feeds you exactly what keeps you scrolling, are you truly choosing? If you walked into a casino designed specifically for your brain, how long do you think you'd stay? That's what social media is, a personalized slot machine. Each time you open the app, your brain gets a chance to win. Maybe it's a funny video, maybe a compliment, a notification, a news update that confirms what you already believe. You don't know what you'll get, but something's always waiting. This variable reward system is addictive by design. The platforms are not neutral. They're built with the same behavioral psychology as casinos, but more precise, more intimate. They know when you linger, what you like, what triggers you. They know how to keep your dopamine on a leash. And because everything happens on your screen, quietly, invisibly, it doesn't feel like manipulation. But every scroll, every recommended for you, is a tiny pull on your mind. And over time, it reprograms how you focus, how you interact, and how you value your own time. What you give attention to shapes who you are. And in this world, your attention is being bought and sold by people who don't care who you become, only that you stay. Think about how many micro decisions you make on your phone in an hour. Click this, skip that, respond now, save for later, like, share, swipe. Each decision feels small, but together, they drain your mental energy. This is called decision fatigue. And when it sets in, your brain stops making deliberate choices. It starts going with whatever is easiest, whatever's most familiar, whatever feels good in the moment. And that's where your agency starts to dissolve. When you're constantly bombarded with stimuli, your capacity to reflect before acting weakens. You become reactive instead of intentional. You stop asking, "Do I actually want this?" and instead default to, "What's next?" This is how social networks shape our decisions, not by forcing us, but by exhausting us. Not by silencing us, but by overwhelming us until we can no longer hear ourselves think. At first, that felt empowering. You could share your life, your ideas, your art. You could connect with others, tell your story, find your voice. But slowly, something shifted. We started to optimize ourselves for attention. We began curating not just content, but personality. We stopped saying what we believed and started saying what would get the most engagement. We built personal brands, not personal truths. And when your identity is built around performance, the feedback you receive doesn't just shape your content, it shapes your self-worth. If a post does well, you feel validated. If it flops, you feel invisible. This is not just emotionally exhausting, it's psychologically rewiring. Over time, you learn to measure your value not by your depth, but by your visibility. And the tragic part? You can be wildly successful online while slowly losing touch with who you really are. Scene 5. The erosion of stillness. There was a time when being alone with your thoughts was normal. Waiting in line, sitting on a train, walking through a park. These quiet moments used to be space for reflection. Now, they're dead zones. If you're not consuming, you're missing something. If you're not checking, you're falling behind. We fill every idle second with stimulation. Podcasts, reels, notifications, messages. Silence has become unbearable. But without stillness, there's no space to process. Without boredom, there's no room for creativity. And without reflection, there's no possibility of growth. When every spare moment is interrupted by digital noise, we lose our ability to hear the most important voice in our life, our own. This isn't happening by accident. Social platforms don't benefit from your mental clarity. They don't make money when you go for a walk, have a real conversation, or get a good night's sleep. They profit when you're distracted, outraged, anxious, addicted. The entire business model is built on engagement. That means your attention is the product. And the longer they have it, the more they sell. To do that, they feed you content designed to provoke emotions, especially the ones that are hard to ignore. Anger, fear, envy, outrage. These platforms thrive on conflict, division, extremes. Not because the people running them are evil, but because rage is good for business. So the more you scroll, the more polarized you become, the more anxious, the more convinced that everyone else is wrong. This isn't a side effect, it's the business model. Real freedom isn't doing whatever you want, whenever you want. It's the ability to choose your values and act on them. It's the ability to focus, to resist manipulation, to pause before reacting. But if every thought is shaped by an algorithm, every emotion stoked by a timeline, and every desire fed by engineered content, then freedom becomes a facade. You feel free, but you're not choosing. You're reacting. And in that sense, digital addiction isn't just about how much time you spend online. It's about who gets to influence what you care about, who gets to shape your beliefs, your behavior, your sense of self. What we call freedom today is often just consumption without reflection. So, what can we do? This isn't a call to abandon technology. It's not about quitting cold turkey or demonizing devices. It's about awareness. It's about remembering that we are not powerless. Start by noticing when you reach for your phone. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Is it boredom, discomfort, loneliness? Be intentional with your time online. Curate your feed, yes, but more importantly, curate your mind. Set boundaries. Make space for stillness. Embrace boredom. Turn off notifications. Go for walks without headphones. Let yourself think. Talk to people in real life. Practice listening. Be willing to feel awkward. Be okay with not being entertained every second. These small acts of resistance add up. They're not glamorous. They don't earn likes. But they give you back what's been quietly slipping away. Your clarity, your presence, your agency. Real freedom isn't found in the infinite scroll. It's found in the decision to stop.